With the case study Killing in Action, we are diving even deeper into the various financial elements that are available to us today to finance content, and that is film and or television content. We're adding to our financing elements mezzanine loans, we're adding profit participations, we're adding waterfalls, we're adding the various separations between take and ask pricing on our sales estimates. So we're going more into what really the reality looks like out there. So again, walk through it slowly, see if you get stuck, where you get stuck, and if you have a question about something, and then feel free to email me through Canvas. Enjoy. When you discuss your project with a sales agent and you tell him, here's my script, here is my envisioned talent, here's my budget range, and so forth, he will put together sales estimates that look a little like this. You see every territory listed, and you see them listed in two pricing levels. The take level, which is our lower level, which is the level that investors and banks look at, and then the ask level, which is the medium to high level. Those are the pricing levels the sales agent will lay out for you. In many cases, the pricing that is going to be achieved with the sale that's happening to these foreign distributors is somewhere between the take and the ask level. In our case here, we are establishing that our take pricing level will get us $11,287,500 in revenues from foreign distribution, and the ask level would get us $16,931,250. When we put together our finance plans and we say, for example, that 75% of the budget should ideally be covered with international sales, we really talk about projections. We talk about what the ideal projection should look like, what the ideal sales estimate sheet should look like that we're getting from the sales agent. And when we say 35% of that should be pre-sold, it's an ideal level, but it's in reality a little different, because what you're actually seeing to be sold and what the sales agent is actually selling are these countries. And you see here in the pre-sold column, these countries show as sold. So we're selling Australia, we're selling Benelux, etc., etc. You see those countries are sold, and they're being removed from the take level and from the ask level because they're no longer available to be sold. When they're sold, they're sold. They're no longer available anymore. In our case, we're assuming that the pre-sales happened in the take level pricing. So total pre-sales we have achieved is $5,295,500. When our sales agent looks at our script, the genre, the budget range, our envisioned package, they will give us estimates, as we said, and they're usually estimated to be around 70 to 75%, ideally. I mean, that would be good. Pre-sales, we have talked about estimates of 35%, 30%, and so forth, but in reality, they are being sold. So in our case, we have sold pre-sales various countries of 5,295,000, and we have unsold rights left of 5,955,000. It's very simple. We're taking our 75% take estimates of 11,250,000. We're deducting the actual pre-sales of 5,295,000, and then we are left with unsold rights of $5,955,000. We are assuming for this finance plan that our US distribution rights will be sold for $5 million. So altogether, we're hoping to get worldwide gross distribution revenues of $16,250,000. In many cases, when banks provide loans to a project, they will discount pre-sales. So here, what we're doing for this case study, we are discounting the pre-sales that we have done country by country of $5,295,000, we discount them to a value of 80%, which is $4,236,000. That's what banks will do. They will likely take their contracts and they will apply some kind of a discount just for them to reduce their risk. Now, we did receive 20% of our pre-sales of $5,295,000 as a down payment from the distributor when they signed the pre-sale agreements. So we have that money. It's held with the sales agent until the time the bond company closes the insurance on our movie and the funds can be released to our production. At that time, the sales agent will give us the down payment. Now, in this case, and in many cases in reality, the sales agent will charge their sales fee that is due to them. Whenever money is released, a sales fee is due to them. So in this case, the 15% sales fee plus the 1% distribution fee comes to 16%. 16% of the down payment of $1,059,000 is $169,440. So this will be deducted, and what we have available for our budget to use to cover our production budget is $889,560. That's what we're going to have from our down payment. And the gross loan amount, after we're deducting our discounted pre-sale amount of $4,236,000, and we are deducting the down payment of $1,059,000, we end up with a gross pre-sale amount of $3,177,000. The bank will charge interest on that. In that case, it's 5%. It will deduct this interest of $158,850. So this leaves us with a net pre-sale loan of $3,018,150. That's one part of our bank loan. The second part of our bank loan is the unsecured gap loan. Unsecured because there is no pre-sale agreements standing against this loan as a collateral. The collateral here is our unsold rights. And again, we earlier established the unsold rights at take price level of $5,955,000. The bank will take 50% of that and assume that that's the maximum for them to lend for us or to us, which is $2,977,500. That's the maximum that they will allow as a gross gap loan. The interest of 9% is applied and deducted, leaving us with $2,709,525. So altogether, the net bank loan that we have available for the production under this scenario is $5,727,675,000. Because the bank has discounted our pre-sales and we want to make sure that our equity investor is not at risk, we're adding a mezzanine lender. So this mezzanine lender is giving us 10% of the budget, which is 10% of $15 million, is $1.5 million. The interest that the mezzanine lender charges of 8% is being deducted up front, so $120,000 will be deducted, and what we will have available to finance our movie is $1,380,000 from this mezzanine loan, which is also referred to as a junior loan because it recoups behind the senior loan, which is our bank loan. Like with any strong finance plan, the idea is very often to include finance elements which we don't have to pay back. Production incentives are a great example for that. The way this works is that the production incentive that would be provided to us after we shot our movie in an incentivized region that would pay us is going to be cash flowed to us by an incentive lender before we even start shooting. So how that works is the production incentive that we are estimating to be receiving based on our budget is going to be shown to an incentive lender who will then agree to advance this incentive to us against a fee. And this incentive lender would not be repaid by us, but would actually be repaid by the incentivizing region. So what this means for us is we can use the production incentive to finance our production cost, and we don't have to pay it back. The incentive lender will take care of the repayment through the region. So in our case, for our movie, we are looking at $3,750,000 as an estimated incentive for the expenses that we will be having in the region. The incentive lender is charging us a 15% fee, deducts this fee, which leaves us with a net incentive loan of $3,187,500. After we have established all the various finance sources to cover our production costs, including our bank loan, our mezzanine loan, our production incentive, we still have a balance to cover, and that balance is covered by our equity investor. So what we do is we subtotal up everything that we have so far, all our funding sources that we have available are all summed up, and then we're deducting this amount from the budget. That leaves us a balance, in our case, of $3,815,265. This is the amount the equity investor provides to us as an equity investment, which reflects 25.44% of our budget. All right, let's summarize our various finance sources again. Let's take a look at all of them together in one overview. Of our pre-sales, which were altogether $5,295,000, the bank is giving us 80%. That's $4,236,000. From our pre-sales, we already got 20% from the distributors, and that's 20% obviously of the entire pre-sales, and the entire pre-sales is $5,295,000. 20% of that is $1,059,000. The sales agent who did the pre-sale is now going to get paid his 16% fee, which is $169,440. We'll deduct that, so we have a net down payment available to us to cover our production cost of $889,560. Right here. That's part of what we have. So now, the gross pre-sale loan, how do we get there? Well, we're going to take the 80% loan of $4,236,000. We deduct the money that we already got, which was $1,059,000, and that gets us to $3,177,000. That is our gross pre-sale loan amount. How does that get to the net amount? It gets to the net pre-sale loan amount by interest that we will be deducting now. 5% of $3,177,000 is $158,850, and we're deducting this right now so that we have available to our production $3,018,150. Now the second part of our bank loan is the gap loan. That's a loan against unsold rights. Remember, our entire international sales estimates were $11,250,000. Of that, we sold actually the pre-sales that are $5,295,000. So what do we have left? We have left $5,955,000 at the take level. So the bank takes this and cuts it in half and says, I'm going to give you a loan against 50% of that. That's $2,977,500. That's the gross gap loan. The bank is going to charge a slightly higher interest here of 9% because this is an unsecured loan. We don't have agreements against it. This is just an estimate of something that's hopefully going to happen. So the bank is charging us $267,975 in interest. This will leave us with a net gap loan of $2,709,525. So when I add up my net gap loan and my net pre-sale loan, I will get to a net bank loan, a net senior loan of $5,727,675. That is the amount I have available to my production. Later on, what I have to pay back, however, is the gross bank loan of $6,154,500. And the reason why that is because we haven't paid the bank the actual interest. They deducted them, yes, but no one handed them a check, so no one gave them money. So they will actually get their interest paid in the recoupment phase. So not right now, but in the recoupment phase, which is when we will be dealing with the total gross bank loan. So let's look at other finance sources we have established. In addition to the bank loan, we also have a junior loan, a mezzanine loan of 10% of the budget, which is $1,005,000. The mezzanine lender charges an interest of 8%, $120,000. That leaves us with a net mezzanine loan of $1,380,000. So that's what we have available for our budget to cover the production cost. We already talked about the incentive loan. 25% of 15 million is 3,750,000. The incentive lender is charging us 15%, 562,500. That leaves us with an incentive amount of 3,187,500 that we can use to cover our production costs. So if we take all these financing sources together, the production incentive, the junior loan, the senior loan, we end up with a subtotal of 11,184,375. Well, we need 15 million, right, to cover our budget. So what's left? Well, 3,815,265 are left for us to make it to the 15 million. And that is what the equity investor will give us. And that's 25%. Right, roughly 25.44% of our budget. These are all the finance sources that we have secured. So let's go and see what the recoupment schedule looks like. So we assume that we produce the movie. We assume that we get our $5 million from US distribution. We're also assuming that we get the unsold rights sold at the take level. We obviously have our pre-sales. So we sum it all up. We're deducting what we already received, which is our down payment here. So our gross revenues are $15,191,000. And we will now be deducting our expenses. So when we look at our expenses here, we have, of course, the collection agent, which is the third party that collects all our revenues and manages all our repayments of our loans and investments, as well as all the distribution fees and costs we have to deal with. So the collection agent charges us 1% of our revenues, which is 151,910, because our revenues, as you remember, was $15,191,000. So next in line is the distribution expense for the sales agent, and that is 16%. And these 16% are charged on the on 10,191,000 because we already paid for the sales agency fee for the down payment. So it's not charged on the full international revenues anymore. It's only charged on the revenue minus the down payment. So that's why the 16% get to 1,630,560. The U.S. agent charges 5% of 5 million. That's $250,000. Our gross bank loan is now due to be repaid. And the gross bank loan, again, is the loan that includes the interest fees and would include any loan fees that are due because we haven't paid them yet. They have deducted them, of course, but no one gave them a check. So this is the time where the bank is now recouping all their fees for their loan. Of course, we have to pay back our junior loan, which is the mezzanine loan at $1.5 million. And remember that the mezzanine lender requested a 10% premium. Premiums are always paid in the recoupment schedule. Premiums are never paid upfront, meaning deducted. So you deduct interest, but you don't deduct premium. Premium you pay in the recoupment. So in this case, your premium is $150,000 for your junior loan for your mezzanine lender. Of course, we have to pay back the equity, $3,815,265, and we have to pay the premium on that amount, which would be $763,053. So when we sum up all of our expenses, we have expenses of $14,415,288. And when we deduct this from all our revenues, which were $15,191,000, we end up with a profit of $775,712. So now comes the point where we're sharing our goodies, we're sharing our profits. We offered the equity investor to receive 20% of the back end. So 20% of our profits, which were $775,712, is $155,142.40. Cast and director each get 20%, so together it's 40%. So they would be getting $310,284.80, and then the rest will be with us, with the producer. We're left with 40%, which is great. So we're making 310,284 and 80 as well.